about actually 7 uncommon side hustles to make money in 2019. Now, I know a lot of people like my age are probably getting off college now. Maybe they're about to go back to their hometown for summer or something like that, and you might be looking for a way to make some extra bucks this upcoming summer. And these side hustles aren't like ones like, you know, Shopify reselling or wholesaling, Amazon FBA or anything like that, even though someone are somewhat similar, I can guess, as you could say, but these ones are actually a little bit more applicable, and I think things that really don't have a whole lot of startup cost or anything like that. But anyways, getting into it, the first one's going to be Facebook Marketplace / Craigslist reselling to eBay. So there's like kind of an easy way to do this. One is you just simply look up items that are like cheaper on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and then simply flip them on eBay for a profit. But I think there's actually a little bit of a better way to do this. So rather than just actually actively looking for sellers or people selling certain items to flip, I think what you could do better is post a wanted ad. So for example, if you have a good eye for, I don't know, sports jerseys and basketball shoes, Jordans, things like that, you could actually post a wanted ad on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist that says wanted, willing to pay cash for Jordans or basketball jerseys, football jerseys, things like that. And the reason you want to do this instead of actually actively looking for sellers is because of just basic supply and demand. If people are actually coming to you looking to selling, they're a lot more likely to decrease the price and sell for a lot cheaper so that you could actually flip it. And why people are actually looking to sell quicker and get the cash right away is because they probably really need that cash, while you could have the patience of waiting maybe a couple of weeks to flip it on eBay. So this is actually a great way that I actually made money on in the past on this, and you could easily bank $500 in a weekend from this. After that, second one on the list is going to be sell meal prep foods. So I actually know quite a few people who do this, and yes, there's like cheap alternatives online, and maybe perhaps in your own hometown. I know there's actually like a place in my hometown that sells meal prep foods, but you could also do this yourself as a small little side hustle, selling it to family, friends, whoever it might be. If you are any good at cooking, and even if you're not actually that great at cooking, there's actually people out there, and I've actually bought it myself, who will actually sell just basically frozen fruits, put them up in a smoothie, and sell that as meal preps every single day and make a little bit of money off of this. And the nice part about this is that you can either make a good profit like some of those online companies like Blue Apron and companies like that do, or you can make a smaller one and be like, hey, my food's fresh, it's local, and it's a lot cheaper than the online options. And that could be a way to make a little bit of extra money if you're good at cooking, or if you just like eating healthy and kind of know good recipes and stuff like that. And of course, you could also Google them yourself. After that, the next uncommon side hustle, which is probably one that's going to require a little bit more of manual labor, I guess, is actually window cleaning. So I've actually done this, and you'd be surprised, especially if you live somewhere with a lot of offices and a lot of city buildings and stuff like that. Places like that will actually pay a decent buck to get their windows cleaned, and trust me, I've actually done this in the past before. So honestly, to do this, it doesn't have a very high startup cost. You literally need like some rags, some cleaner, as well as like basic buckets, things like that. So it actually doesn't require a whole lot for a startup cost or anything like that. It does require a bit more manual labor, but during the summertime, especially right now, like it's May right now, mid-May when I'm making this video, there are a ton of companies that are going to want to have their windows cleaned. After that is kind of similar to the first one, but this one is more focused on garage selling to sell than on eBay. And with this one, again, similar to the Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist one, but rather than doing it online, you could just simply hit up garage sales because it is starting to get nice out. And I like this one a bit better than Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, simply because you can get cheaper items, and you could also, like, not by cheaper, I mean like you're not going to be buying iPhones or Xboxes or things like that, but you're probably going to be buying like clothes or toys or things of that nature. So with this one, you could literally buy like brand new, like name brand clothes for $1 at garage sales and flip them on eBay for 10-15 bucks very, very easily. I again do this myself, so I know this is actually a side hustle that works. And the great part about garage selling, I think, is this hustle is that it kind of depends on how hard you want to work. Like if you want to wake up at 6-7 a.m. and go out garage selling in your neighborhood, then you're probably going to be able to find a lot better deals and be able to score a lot better items as well. So I think this one is very, very dependent on how hard you want to work, and it's one that's totally based on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like people don't actually really hold too many good garage sales during the week. After that is going to be one that is totally online based, and this is creating Instagram niche pages. So this one is one that's not going to like pay you right up front. Like all these other ones, for the most part, like you'll be getting money and making money right up front if you're willing to put in the work. But this one's going to take a little bit more time and a little bit more effort. So in this category, and I think this could really fall into any social media category, but I think Instagram is a big and popular one right now. Basically, all you have to do is create very basic content and pictures or videos on Instagram and just find out a specific niche to do it in. So for example, if you're like super interested in really anything, honestly, like if you look up literally any topic you're interested in on Instagram, there's probably going to be a couple dozen Instagram pages allocated to it, especially if it's something very popular, like, I don't know, you're super interested in football or basketball or Star Wars or something like that. You could definitely find a ton of Instagram pages, and you know, there's a lot of Instagram pages already out there, but you can always find something a little bit new, a little bit more unique to do. And this is actually something I want to try getting into. I've gotten into this in the past, but it's something I want to actually do a little bit more productively and efficiently in the upcoming months or so. So definitely watch out for that as well. After that is going to be one that's more of, I guess, a job, but also a type of side hustle that you could do very easily during the summer, definitely during the hot months, is caddying. So with this actually isn't something I've personally done, but I know for a fact it is more weekend based, and it's also one that is very easy, doesn't actually require a lot of like prior knowledge or anything like that, and also great for people if you actually do like golfing. So with caddying, I mean, you can literally hold 2 bags like per day or something like that and easily make a couple $100s in tips on a weekend if you're like at a better golf club or a better golf course or something like that. And what's super nice about this as well is that it's like somewhat passive in nature, like you're literally carrying around bags, so it's not like more towards the entrepreneur aspect of like side hustles or anything like that, but more towards, okay, this is an easy job that I'm actually getting paid a lot to do. And obviously, if you like don't live somewhere with a lot of golf courses, that wouldn't work very well, but generally if you live somewhere that's somewhere nice during the summer, you could be able to find some nice ones. Next one coming in is kind of a more online based one, but this is selling on Teespring. So if you're unfamiliar with what Teespring is, it's actually like a merchandise type website where basically they do all the work for you and they take a pretty decent chunk of the profit, but you also can profit off selling things like t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve shirts. I think they even have like coffee mugs, mouse pads, things like that. So this again would be an instance where you could like either have a somewhat of a large following online, like I do, for example. Like if I sold t-shirts that said investor or something like that on my channel, people might be buying them. But rather than, if you don't have an online following, which I'm sure you might or may not have, I'm gonna have to guess most of you probably don't if you're watching this video, I think it would make a little bit more sense to offer up this service to people who do have an online following. So it's sort of like outsourcing this Teespring, you know, saying, hey, you know, I could do a little bit of designing for t-shirts for you that I think might sell. It's not going to cost you anything, and we could like split the profits, or, you know, whatever you want to do with that price point. Or you could just try to sell stuff yourself, if, I don't know, for your local town, for your like local sports team or something like that. It doesn't really matter. But Teespring is actually a super cool website. You should definitely check them out. They're like totally free to use and stuff like that, but of course they do take a decent amount of the money from actually selling you these t-shirts, and you don't have to like hold inventory or anything like that. And the next and final one on this list is again involving selling something, but this involves selling handcrafted goods on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. So with this one, again, it requires you to like do a little bit more work up front, and also requires you to not have a huge cost of setting things up or anything like that. So for example, I actually know someone that basically buys just pallets of wood, or gets wood from people that they know. They kind of like chop them up and paint them and put kind of cool designs on them based on the season. Like during the Thanksgiving time, she did Thanksgiving ones, and she did Christmas ones, and then she did like St. Patty's Day ones, and now she's doing spring ones and summer ones as well. And they're literally just like a 2x4 that's painted, and like she puts a little cool design on it with like different colored stencils and things like that. So it's like super basic, doesn't require a lot to do, doesn't require a lot of money to do or anything like that, but she actually sells them on Facebook Marketplace for a little decent profit, because if you were to go out and buy this at another store, it's like usually really crappy quality, or it's like really cheap and not worth it, or it's just over expensive. So this is also something that you could do as well, and you could do this in a ton of different ways. I know it's getting nice out, so maybe perhaps doing something similar to that, creating outdoor signs, might be a good way to go. But other than that, guys, that's really it for this video. I went over about 8 things to do that you could easily do as a side hustle. That I guess I try to choose things that are a little bit less uncommon or a little bit more uncommon, I should say, and things that aren't just like selling Amazon FBA or like Shopify or anything like that. But anyways, definitely let me know in the comment section what you think about these ideas. If there's other ones that you might think of that I didn't mention in the video, or if you've done some of these and maybe you liked it, maybe you hated it, definitely let me know in the comment section. And also, if you're new to the channel, I talk about investing, the stock market, entrepreneurship, just anything that has to do with money. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, definitely consider subscribing. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's an Acorns sign up link in the description. And if you use this link, you get $5 when you sign up and fund your Acorns account. Acorns is an affordable online investing app that automatically invests your spare change for you. If you're the type of person who wants to invest but doesn't want to do the work of picking individual stocks, Acorns is a great option for you. Using this link helps the channel out a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.